friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Eso, this is EsoTarot, and in today's pick a kitty reading or flower or card, whatever reading, we are going to be getting messages from your future self. Now, this reading is going to be pretty straightforward. Underneath each kitty, we have a stack of oracle cards that will represent where your future self's present, so where they're at when they are communicating with you, and then I will pull tarot to get the exact message of what they want you to know based on where they're at, and then we're going to do just a couple little channeled message things and pull a bigger guidance card. So going to be really straightforward. But we have 3 different pretty kitties for you to choose from today. So starting with group number 1, we have this first Hello Kitty who has some orange daisies maybe in her head, and is wearing these cute little purple overalls and has a little shovel on top. And the first stack of cards. Then for group number 2, we have the second kitty with her little blue raincoat on and one of my favorite flowers. She's got some purple and blue hydrangeas in her head, and she is on top of the second stack of oracle cards. And then for group number 3, we have the third pretty kitty, and it looks like these are kind of pansies, maybe these yellow pansies in her head, and she's very yellow orange vibes with a cute little watering can, and she's laying on top of our third stack of oracle cards. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. It's absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one. It's possible there could be like different timelines you're on. Another thing I wanted to mention is based on how much where your future self is makes sense to you, the closer your future self is to you in time and space. So like if your future self is in a place where you feel like that just seems so far from where I'm at right now, then it's a longer stretch of time. But if it seems like, oh, I could see how I'm at this XYZ place, then you can assume it's closer in time and space. But even that is malleable. So to help you, my sweet angels, pick a group in case you are struggling, I'm just going to go ahead and pull some, I'm just going to pull a card for each group from the Forest Fae deck, and if it resonates for you, it can help you pick. Yeah, only do this if it helps, not if it hurts. Don't over confuse yourself. Okay, so for those that would benefit from picking group 1, what signs do my lovely friends need if they are going to pick group 1? We have the Soothsayer, travel the road seldom taken. So if you've been in loner mode recently, group 1 might be for you. I also feel like if you've been doing a lot of like supporting and just giving words of support and kindness to others, group 1 may be for you. If saber-tooth tigers or Power Rangers are significant in any way, group 1 might be for you. If you're wearing brown right now, or you have your hair up, if you have hair, or if you're dealing with a lot of static electricity, this might be for you. Also, dream catchers and beads could be significant. Also, the word road. Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day could be significant as well. So that is for group 1. Okay, what is significant for my group 2s? How can we help my lovely friends know if group 2 is for them? We have the Woodwife, trust your inner wisdom. So if you are married, this could be for you. If you have the last name Wood, I have the last name Wood. this group isn't for me because I shuffle my other groups, but I think it's a pretty common last name. So shout out to all those that do. Or you have some plant or organic, natural affiliated thing in your name. Like if your name is Willow or Sage or Asher or Ash or those are the ones I'm thinking of. Maybe you have T's or W's in your name. If you've been trusting your own inner guidance recently, that might be helpful. If you got a fresh set recently or been wanting to get your nails done, maybe group 2's for you. Armadillos could be significant. Ferns, like the plant or the name. Fern's a name, I think. If you're wearing like a soft green, maybe, or a brown. If you've watched The Good Wife is a TV show, and that rhymes. So any of that could be significant. Yeah. Okay. Group 3. So, what guidance? Group 3. What guidance? What signs are significant for my lovely friends that are meant to pick group 3? What can help group 3 pick? Okay, a bunch came out, but I'm just gonna take the top one. Okay, 2 cards did come out, like the Sentinel and the Hedge Guardian. So like number 1, the movie Guardians of the Galaxy. But Sentinels and Guardians, so like if you felt a guardian spirit, guardian energy, I just saw like a flash like move past my eye. Griffins, the name Griffin or like the creature could be significant, but I definitely think like protective energy. If you've either been seeking that or feeling that or needing that could be significant. But we have the witch hair, so if you are practicing witchcraft or paganism or anything like that, this could be for you. Rabbits could be significant. If you've been in a state where you've been rushing a lot, like not able to slow down and just like, you know, like the story, the fable, like tortoise and the hare, like if you've been harried, or the name Harry could be significant. I'm thinking of Scooby-Doo. I'm thinking of like that like old classic episode of Scooby-Doo that's like like it's about like witches or something. Classic 60s Scooby-Doo is just chef's kiss. The 1960s could be significant. If you were born then, holla. And yeah, I guess if you're crossing a threshold or trying to transition, that could be significant as well. And also if you've taken a selfie recently or dyed your hair, if you haven't, or like made some cosmetic appearance or change to your face recently, that could be significant. Also aliens, just aliens in general for group 3. That's what I'm getting. Oh, and I just had the idea to do what's on the back of the deck. So if you see the back of the deck and you resonate with the back of the deck, if you feel drawn to more than one, maybe that could be a sign. So bumblebees, honey mother, anyone could be called honey or could be called sweet. Sometimes the greatest of magic lies in the smallest of forms. So you could be at like the beginning of a journey, or you could be just a smaller person. Shout out to the small people. Shout out to the petite peeps out there. I'm with you. White flowers could be significant. Lotus flowers. Pollinating could be significant as well. Okay, so that is extra pile picking help. If you still need help beyond that, I don't know what to tell you other than maybe just watch the video. But with that being said, intro squad, hi, been a second. Exciting updates. Got my PC set up and I have been playing Cyberpunk, and I played a little bit of Baldur's Gate today. I started that's really fun. Cyberpunk 2077 has been so much fun. I definitely am planning on streaming, and I wanted to get your guys' opinions on whether like you'd rather do like a live setup situation, or if you'd rather like just like watch edited bite-sized videos. Maybe both would be better, honestly, than it's best of both worlds. Let me know there. Make sure you're subscribed to Eso's World, which doesn't have anything on it yet, but it will. I've just been in hermit mode, and also, like, I don't know, like, I feel like I realized, like, getting a PC after not having one for so long, like, I feel like a mixture of, like, a boomer and an iPad baby wrapped up in one, because it's like I gotta learn all the new stuff again, and, like, I don't know, but I'm getting it figured out, and I'm really excited. I think it's gonna be really fun. Yeah, if there's any video games that you want to play, or yeah, let me know, like, what you enjoy seeing in terms of, like, streaming and stuff like that, because I don't have any experience streaming, and I would like it to be enjoyable for you guys. And I don't really watch many streamers. Well, I don't really watch any streamers. So, yeah, like, what is enjoyable in that for you? Okay, that's me. As for you, anything new, anything exciting, to let me know good news, or let me know if you need prayer requests. Feel free to comment prayer requests, and also feel free to comment, like, good news, good things that have happened to you. You don't have to go too deep into things, but I just love to hear what's the good news, what's going on, what's the 411, what's the hot gossip. Okay, my lovely friends, let's go ahead and start this reading. So once you picked your group or groups, you can scroll down to the comment section or the description, where I will have all the timestamps. But once you have picked your group or groups, I will see you in your reading. Hi there, pile one. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the first Hello Kitty and the first stack of oracle cards, this is going to be your reading on messages from your future self. And we are just going to go ahead and start by looking at where your future self is. So to start, we have Thorns, we have Daisy, Purity, Cheerfulness, and Innocence. Is that a daisy? I don't know, maybe the other thing is a daisy, I don't know. The other thing, I meant group threes. I forget, you can't read my mind. Purity, cheerfulness, and innocence. The present moment is filled with joy and happiness. If you are attentive, you will see it. We have Drifting. We have the Page of Pentacles. And New Moon with Intention. Okay. I really love this. I actually think how far into the future this is heavily dependent on, like, each of you. For some of you, this will be further ahead, and for others of you, this will actually be closer than you think. But I see your future self in a deeply surrendered place, where you're actually reconnecting to the present moment. I say actually, like, you can't ever do that, but it maybe presence is something that you've struggled with, especially, and it's made it hard for you to kind of relax on your journey, and relax in terms of just, like, the pace of life. It seems like your future self is wanting you to know that what you're building and what you're creating, a lot of that you may not even know what it is yet. I think the way it manifests now is just this, maybe this ache or this calling or this knowing that where you're at in your present moment when you're watching this, like, you're not where you want to be. It seems like maybe you're not aligned with your values in the way that you want to be. Like, maybe the way that you're living doesn't necessarily match the ideals you want to live up to. Not saying that that's the case for all of you, but maybe for some of you, like, that's where you're at. I feel like your future self is wanting you to know that they are at a place where they've where you've reestablished enough of self-connection that you realize those feelings and also those experiences are not reflections of who you are. they're reflections of the fact that you're not where you want to be, and that's okay. And here's the thing. I think that part of what's maybe overwhelming you is I feel like you don't even really know where you want to go, where you want to head into. Like, and even if you have ideas, like maybe you're uncertain of like, do I really want that, or do I just really like the fantasy of it? Or it seems like you've almost overthought potentials to the point where it's overwhelming to even try to pick one path, because how do I know it's the right one? How do I know if I'll like it? And also, how do I know if it's worth the work to head towards and commit to? Here's the beautiful thing. Your future self still doesn't have the answers to those questions. But they've reconnected to the point of not having to answer those questions, because this really is like a journey sort of thing. I'm literally hearing life is a highway in my head, where your future self is at a solid new beginning, where you're giving yourself the opportunity to embrace the journey and embrace the present moment and embrace the fact that you just feel good again and feel centered again. So if you felt really off, know that this is not a forever thing, it's a temporary thing. And actually, one thing I see as well is because you're in a more peaceful and calm state, it's going to start becoming clearer and clearer to you what you do want to put your focus and energy towards in terms of what is in your control to do so. Not only that, though, it seems like in terms of what's out of your control, you're flowing with it rather than against it. And it seems to actually be carrying you to your goals in a way where you have a lot more mental bandwidth free to play and explore, to like even just be in your present moment and take it in and feel or express gratitude for it. Like, I feel like your mind has been going so fast that like you don't even have the time and energy or ability to like even remember that you can do that. For some of you, I feel like so know that you're where you're at is not a failure and not something that you're doing wrong. But I do feel like if you've been seeking a lot of like divination answers, like especially if you've been using divination on yourself and like you've been trying to get answers to these questions and you feel really frustrated because like the answers aren't really coming to you and they don't quite make sense, I think it's because you're not really meant to have those answers right now. Now, one thing as well is that I see that your future self has tightened up their boundaries and they are a little bit guarded. Not guarded in a way that is keeping goodness out, but guarded in a way that's keeping goodness in the sense that if you have been giving too much of yourself, or if there's like toxic sources in your environment, or toxic energies within you that you're trying to purge, or toxic habits that are creating like that are contributing to this state, I see you being in a place where they're not affecting you as much. But I do think that you're in more of a solitary energy here. That's not to say that you may not still have like a flourishing social life during this time, or, you know, it's less about like, I feel like there's just a reconnection to like being in your body as you on your journey in a way that sees through the eyes of novelty, curiosity, and excitement for the future, rather than like where you're at now. And where you're at now is really just a big way of the world outside of you telling you, hey, we gotta shift, or hey, where we're at is not right. And however you get here is certainly not wrong. And one thing I want to say about the Page of Pentacles as well is that I feel like your future self is in a very conservative place, especially when it comes to like finances at this time. And I do feel called to say for all of you, like now, depending on how close this feels in the future to you, you may just want to be really cautious with your finances and maybe be a little bit conservative with your spending, because I could see this time being, you know, depending on just like, if it's possible, of course, I just see you being in a place where finances seem to be something you're not really stressed about. And it's not because it's not something you have to worry about. It's because it's something you've already taken the time to worry about. And so you have like a set structure there, even if it's rudimentary or it's experimental. It seems like it's working well enough that once again, more mental bandwidth is freed up for you to generate just more positive energy internally and create externally as a result, or begin that process. Because I definitely see you being in a place of calm. Like, this energy feels like an exhale and like the feeling of like fresh sheets that have just come out of like the dryer or that have been in the sun. That's this vibe. My neighbors are leaving their house and I'm like such a stalker. Like, I can't stop looking. Also, I keep hearing this weird horn. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but now that we've seen where your future self is at, let's go ahead and see what they want you to know. So I'm using the Ethereal Visions Tarot. Thought it fit the vibe very well. And if you just want to focus on the deck and set the intentions that the messages most necessary come through for you, please do. And if you're enjoying this, thank you for leaving me a like. Thanks for signing up for my email list. Thanks for listening to ways to support me at the end. And thank you for being here. But group number one's future self, what would you like your current self to know at this time for their highest good, please? Okay, we have the Page of Wands in reverse. What would you like your current self to know? We have the Chariot in reverse. Okay, we need to seesaw these. Perfect. Okay, we have the Star in reverse. We have the Ten of Cups upright. And one more. We have the Five of Cups upright. Okay, there is a quick message. This is hyper specific, but for anyone who is who currently has like a baby on the way, or has like had a child recently, or had some big shift in dynamic in family, if so, congratulations, or all good tidings. What I see in your future self's energy is definitely shifts that they've had to make in order to protect and preserve not only energy but sanity. But these are things that your future self has kind of mastered. If not mastered, at least gotten into the habit of, so that they're less like energetically taxing, or you don't have to like consciously think or figure out how to do these things. They're starting to become second nature, and you're starting to settle into a routine where you can build from what you've started, and also things are getting a bit easier, and you're kind of finding your stride and your new rhythm and your new normal within these changes. Now, if you are, for example, like postpartum, or having a baby soon, or in that process, or have a partner that is going through that process, what I really see right now is just a big message for you about focusing as much as you can on your own comfort and care, and obviously any dependents in the vicinity, but to stop focusing on or fearing about the future right now, because the present really needs you. Like, not only really needs you, but you do not have an accurate perception of what the future is going to be like because you have undergone intense, stressful things that, you know, for example, like your hormones might be different, like you might be healing and recovering from surgery or from a big shift in like life. Your body is adapting to the stress of what is happening or what has recently happened. And just because you can't move forward right now, like, in fact, it would be messed up if you were expected to move forward right now. Like, the present is what needs you. And it's really important for you to know that it's okay for you to feel however you're feeling. Like, a lot of it you may not be able to help. Like, it may just be a natural result of, like, body mechanics and, you know, shit that's out of your control. What is in your control is whether or not you beat yourself up for the fact that there are things out of your control that are impacting ideally what you'd want to be doing. But what you need to be doing is just be with yourself and be with anyone who is in your care. Okay, that message is there. And also to like not beat yourself up and feel like, is this going to be me forever? No. And I think that's a wider message for all of you that your future self wants you to know, is that like just because you're not moving forward right now doesn't mean that it's hopeless and you won't ever move forward at all. I also think there's a message here about honoring your anger and honoring your frustration, because I think for a lot of you, you do seem to be someone who is used to being on the go or used to just being able to move forward more easily. And it seems like life has been intentionally forcing you to slow down, and that might be really frustrating. Not might be, it likely is. It's okay to be angry about that. And it's okay to be angry about the fact that like the internal sources that you've usually leaned on for support don't seem to be accessible to you in the same ways. And I think they're inaccessible to you quite literally because you are supposed to be stopped. You are supposed to be stuck. And I think that not stuck, stopped. And I think an important reason why that is because there's fulfillment in front of you and around you. Maybe not in big grand ways, or maybe not in ways that you picture them, but that if you don't recognize them now, you will regret like not utilizing that time as, and also not being with that time. Because I don't know if you'll be nostalgic for this time in a certain way. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Or maybe you have this expectation that you should be emotionally fulfilled right now. Like things should be good. Why do they not feel that way? It could be the inverse, where you have these expectations, or you're in your present moment, you have this idea like, I thought I would be happier, or I thought things would be different, and you might be kind of grieving the idea of what you where you thought you'd be, and you might be grieving the idea of who you're becoming, and the fears as well of who is me and what's coming with me and what's leaving. And I think that there's a big message from your future self that you can never lose your core self. But there are seasons of life where it is harder to access parts of ourselves, and it's harder to be connected. What I feel like this time is actually really calling you to do is to focus more on connection, and to focus on finding comfort and fulfillment within the circumstances outside of your control. But also too, looking at how projected expectations of yourself and your future may be distorting your present in a way where it's making things feel harder than they need to be, or it's making you beat yourself up more than necessary because you figured it would just be easier to embrace this time than it really is. Know that your own frustrations and emotional like baggage that you might be working through right now does not reflect a lack of gratitude by any means, or is a sign that you're ungrateful or doing something wrong or bad. I feel like you have this shame where like you feel like you should just be more chill about things, or it should just be easier to embrace life right now. And I feel like your future self is saying, like, we are at a place where we don't need to embrace life because we're accepting it. And where you are right now, I think your future self is saying you can start those first steps by stop trying to push forward. And if you can't conjure hopeful visions of the future right now, stop trying. Because it all it does is reinforce feelings of overwhelm and feelings of hopelessness. And your future self wants you to know it's not hopeless at all. Like, you're just in a place where things are really intense in your lived experience. And I think that there's a lot of repressed emotion that does need to get out, and that also just needs to be sat with. Because I do think that, like, I'm like thinking about like a plane with too much weight on it and it can't like get off the ground. I feel like for you that weight is like emotional and it's like mental. And I think that part of why you're slowing down right now is to really kind of sort through that and process and release a lot of it so that you don't have to continue carrying it. I think whatever sticks with you as you move into like this future self phase, it's going to serve you as like keys of wisdom that you take with you on your journey and help give you clarity about where you go from here, or I guess from there in your future self's place, where you go from there. And your future self wants you to know that you're in the process of refining what's important to you. And that takes time. And I feel like they really want you to unburden yourself when it comes to how you handle the challenges in front of you. It's okay to act bratty or to act frustrated. I mean, you know, how we treat others, that can be a bit different. But like, you know, if you're by yourself, dude, putting my PC together, well, I didn't put it together. I had to do very basic things to get it set up. But bro, I got kind of huffy about it. Because I was just like, because it's fucking annoying, like trying to move in the material dimension and make everything work. Why can't I just think and make things happen? It's bullshit. The third dimension is bullshit sometimes, and you're allowed to be mad about it. It feels good. It feels good to talk about and just get it out there. So feel free to purge that and not hold on to it and not feel like you should be. Like, I don't lovingly embrace every single moment I'm on this fucking planet. I don't. Like, it irritates me a lot, actually. But one of the things that does bring me joy is ranting about it in ways that make me laugh. So, you know, checks and balances. You have the ability to do that, and you will do it naturally when you don't stifle your impulses and you don't hold back what you feel or hold back what's trying to come out because you're afraid of what that might mean or afraid of like what people might think of you if you do that. I think when it comes to the people in your immediate circle, your emotions are safer than you think. And when it comes to people beyond that, I don't think you're gonna find that you have those moments when you're around like people that you wouldn't feel safe expressing it around. Otherwise, I feel you're going to be kind of alone when you have these moments. Don't stifle them, especially if you're alone. Let it all out. But here's the thing about the Star and the Chariot and the Page of Wands being here. With these cards upright, that's all about victory, forward momentum, hope, faith, positivity, success. And with that Page of Wands, a lot of inspiration and a lot of excitement and forward momentum. So know that these are things that are coming. And actually, I think these are things that are coming very soon for where your future self is at. And you're gearing up to be where your future self is, which is kind of at a Fool phase, like a new beginning. But it's a new beginning that you've prepared for a little bit, and it's only there because you've started building structures that work for who you are right now and that are freeing up more mental bandwidth for you to just kind of be with yourself and be with your present moment. And honestly, some of what you might be dealing with is just straight up exhaustion. So be gentle and patient with yourself, because like I feel like your future self is saying like you will not be here forever, and while it might be hard, there are silver linings to this time where if you embrace them, you won't regret it, and if you resist them, you'll look back and just be like, I could have gotten more out of this time if I wanted to. If you really want to overachieve that badly, then be stiller than Ben. Be so still that you can't, that you're the stillest. You're the stillest of them all. And you're getting all the wisdom by just sitting with yourself. And I really think like you don't even need to overthink the process. Like, I think stillness for you, like a great opportunity for stillness would literally just be like being in a dark room and like going into your imagination and playing there. Go on an adventure in your mind palace. Like, that is better than whatever it is you have been doing. Okay, let's just dive a bit deeper and just see what guidance your future self has for you. I really feel like more than anything, just know everything's gonna be okay. You're doing great. Okay, this card wants to come out. Yes, strength. When your roots are deep, you need not fear the storm. And I feel like that you are in the process of building strength. And sometimes it takes a lot of strength just to accept where we're at and be kind to ourselves. So if you can do that, know you're strong as hell. You already are strong as hell, but doing that makes you even stronger. What else does group one's future self want them to know? I love when I'm right. Hope, an idea, a single acorn can start a wondrous forest. Like, yeah, I think that this is huge too, because I feel like, especially if you're someone who runs on like creative inspiration and you have none, just because your cup runneth dry does not mean that you'll never find the well again. Like you're a natural, like humans are naturally creative. Like just because you're not inspired right now doesn't mean you won't be ever again. And just because you can't see hope right now doesn't mean there isn't any. And just because you can't feel it doesn't mean that you're losing it. It just means it's harder to connect to right now. And I think a lot of times that's where faith comes in, and that's where we really have the opportunity to place our faith, because it's really easy to have hope when we feel it, but it's a lot harder to hope when we feel wary and uncertain. Not only that, but like it's easy to have faith when you feel a strong connection to what you're placing your faith in. It's a lot harder when you feel disconnected and it's a choice. It's a choice that you make. And know that you don't have to, the choice is what helps reinforce it. You don't need the feeling to make it true. The choice makes it true, even if it's just an intellectual concept. I think one of the biggest ways though that you can do that is not listen to me and figure out, I don't know, I was gonna like give some guidance there, but then I felt called, like, you guys know what you need. You may be resistant to giving it to yourself, but you know what you need. Okay, anything else? Resilient, stay as strong as evergreen trees. Yes, like I feel like your future self is saying like they're letting you know, like I think they're lauding you for your resilience, and I feel like they're also saying like, yes, it sucks to have to be that like as resilient as you are sometimes, but they want you to know and understand that this resilience now is making things easier for your future self. And not only that, but this resilience, I think I kind of want to just side note with this reading, like I feel like you guys are really in the trenches, and I just want to give you like the biggest hug and like and forehead kiss. So and like I'm wrapping my arms around you in my mind's eye. I want you to know, like, it is gonna be okay, and I know it's scary, and I know it's hard, and like it will be okay. And I feel like your future self, and I also want to validate that, like, what the challenges you're going through right now are no joke. And I think it would actually be a little bit weird if you could function and move forward so easily right now. That would actually be counterproductive, and also it would not do justice to the trials and tribulations that you're going through right now. On the back of the deck, we have music. There's a melody to be heard in the deepest part of the woods, if only we listen. But I feel like there's a message here in general about, like, using music. Music could be a good way to, like, access feeling that you're struggling to reach. I mean, I don't listen to music a lot of times because I don't want to feel things against my will. So if there's something you're trying to feel, or if you're someone who processes their emotions through music, maybe using music as a tool could be really helpful. But also too, if you're really feeling really funky, movement in general, like of your physical body, can be helpful. So like putting on some tunes to dance to, or just going for a walk, and listening to the sounds of nature could be just like great for not necessarily like fixing all your problems and making you feel a million times better, but bringing temporary relief in a time of challenge. So we're gonna go ahead and finish this reading off with a guidance card from the Sacred Earth Oracle, and we're just gonna see what your future self wants to finish on. So group number one's future self, what guidance do you have for group number one moving forward? What do they need to know at this time for their highest good? We have fragments. You know, it's really interesting too. I don't know if you guys, if you're looking for types of therapy, inner family systems therapy might be something you want to look at, because I was literally just thinking, like, I was noticing how there's a family here in this Five of Cups. Also, like, feelings of abandonment, or feelings of like not being parented the way you needed, or not having like the parents that you needed. Healing around there, like if you're looking for a direction to like look in terms of healing, or in terms of like maybe a source of where like internal emotion is coming from, it could be something related to that. And inner family systems therapy, that might be something you want to look into or check out. It may not be for you, but it might be for you. I don't know, but let's see what this says. Fragments. A past or hidden event influences a current situation. Trust issues due to secrecy or deception. A childhood ordeal is brought into the light. Okay, we were on it there. Reflect on or draw your own meaning from it. Hold your broken self or another in a loving orbit until it is strong and beautiful once more. That's literally, like, that's really what your future self wants you to know. Like, hold your broken self in a loving orbit until it's strong and beautiful once more. And know that you are always strong and beautiful. But a lot of times it takes us holding ourselves through the challenges to see our strength and beauty, right? There are parts of yourself that you are yet to realize. Take your time getting to know someone. Beyond your thoughts, there is the mirror of infinity. It is a clear space through which you will see your true reflection. Here, you can see your whole self, your shadows and your light. See that you are beautiful. You have nothing to prove, nothing to hide. You are blessed and held in the loving field of the Divine Mother. While Earth was still forming, it was hit repeatedly by planet-sized masses. Still not as big as your mom. That's a joke. These impacts caused pieces of the young Earth to break off. Earth's gravity field held those fragments in orbit, where they circled closer and closer together until they merged to become our moon. Sly. Together, those fragments of our planet's younger self pull and tug at the water on Earth, influencing oceans, plants, climates, and seasons. The moon grows and wanes, holding us in awe as she catches and reflects the sun's light back to the world she was once part of. The moon always shows the same side to the earth. Before humankind launched into space, her hidden face was a mystery. By unifying and shining a light on the fragments of our past, we recognize their influence on our present selves. Discovering what is hidden can be an epic journey. In reflection, we can find beauty in our most secret self. So yeah, I really feel like you're here to unearth fragments that have been buried. This present moment is about you unearthing fragments that are actually, and it's so interesting too, because I meant to say something about your inner child with this, and I had just so much to say. I kind of forgot. Like, I do feel like your inner child is a very much a page of wands, and like the fact that this talks about purity, cheerfulness, and innocence, like I feel like your future self has fully reconnected to a part of you that maybe you've been disconnected from, or that is wounded, and that has been a source of stress for you. I feel like your future self is saying, like, first of all, you've integrated these things. Second of all, look at how cool, like, this looks like the same person. One just has bangs. Anyway, I definitely think this is a time of reintegration. And the more, like, you stop to sit with yourself, I think the more you're gonna find, like, there's just so much to love about you that maybe you haven't really noticed in a long time, and realize, like, oh, these parts of me, because these parts of you will need on your journey. It will help you go with the flow and help you enjoy the present more. If there's a part of you that feels angry and frustrated, like there's like access to joyful life seems to be denied to you for some reason, the answers are rooted in a part of your inner child, or a part of you that you've had suppressed since childhood around authentic expression or something of that nature. So group 1, that is where I'm going to leave this reading. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting the ads play in the background, at least for the first 30 seconds. I don't expect you to actually watch them. It's a great time to ignore, or just get YouTube Premium, or just leave me a tip or something like that. All of that's really helpful, so thank you to everyone who does that. All the ways to support me are down below. Yeah, I really hope this reading helped. It will get better, and I'm really proud of you guys for sticking with it. I love you guys so much. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the little hydrangea kitty with her little raincoat on, so fitting because it's been like raining intermittently today, and the second stack of oracle cards, this is going to be your reading. Oh my gosh. Okay, before we start, I just felt this like great rush of love. And I just I just want to like give you the biggest like hug and forehead kiss. And I know I say that a lot in my readings, but it's because I mean it. So, yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's see where your future self is at. I missed you guys. I don't know. Maybe I know someone in this group, because there's just like I just feel like I wish you could see my Facebook at the same time. I'm glad you can't, because it's goblin mode, but like I'm just grinning from ear to ear, and I'm just like, ooh, it just feels so good. It just feels so good to sit in this energy. So let's go ahead and see where your future self is at right now, in the present. Okay, so to start, we have summer. We have the moon. We have tulip with friendship and gratitude. Let us be grateful for the people who make us happy. They are the charming gardeners who make our souls blossom. We have the hermit. And we have passion with balance. Okay, I love this. Your future self is in a really good place. And one thing that I'm hearing for a lot of you is that how far into the future this is heavily dependent on action, not like timing factors outside of your control. Well, maybe except summer. Maybe summer could be like a timing factor for you, but considering I'm filming this like at the end of May, if you're watching this when I upload or during like the summertime, this could be a beautiful sign that your future self is literally right around the corner. But summer doesn't have to be literal. Especially, right now it's only summer for the northern hemisphere. So you know, whenever summer is for you, that could be significant. But I think that summer is more about a state of being than necessarily what the weather is like, although it could be. What I see here is that things are really going right for you. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that you're getting out of your own way. What I really see here is, number one, a beautiful balance between connection with people you care about and quality alone time where you get what you need in that alone time. So I see you, especially with this Hermit card being here, having a strong internal connection to yourself, and one where you're not doubting yourself, you're feeling more confident. And I actually think that this Hermit energy is kind of what is inspiring this period of summer. Like, things are blooming, blossoming for you. Like, this could be a time where things are going well for you financially. This could be a time where there's a lot of opportunities. Like, life is warmer. But I feel like life is warmer because you are warmer. Like, the fact that we have the moon here and it's full, that really tells me that your fear hasn't disappeared. Your challenges haven't faded. I mean, let me be clear, I feel like challenges is dramatic. Like, I do feel like your future self is at a place where a major challenge has been, I don't want to say overcome, because, like, you know how sometimes challenges can be like much bigger than we anticipate? Like, we deal with them in like waves or phases. I feel like you're in a phase where internal challenges that maybe have held you back in life, you still get the sensations and the physical experiences of those like internal phenomena, but it's not stopping you. And I think that's the big key internal point, and that's why things are really going well for you. It really doesn't, like, I think there's a huge key theme here from your future self, where like your future self has understood or is integrating understanding of the fact that life has not been holding you back, you've been holding yourself back. And with this moon card here, you're seeing your fears clearly, you're seeing your challenges clearly that you may still be contending with, and rather than feeling like beaten down by them, I feel like you're starting to see that, like, what they are. I'm like seeing Scooby-Doo, like, you know how they, you know, the whatever the monster is, it's always just someone on some fuck shit in a mask, you know? And I think that you are going to be seeing quite clearly what within you, like, fear is not going to have the same hold over you because you're seeing it so clearly, especially with summer. Like the sun is out, and like you're like the shadow aspects of you're seeing them quite clearly. And I don't mean shadow in a negative way. I actually mean shadow in like a, oh, this part of me has been like holding me back because it's afraid of XYZ, or it doesn't want to face this, or oh, like I didn't realize this impulse came from this fear and I was trying to avoid. Like, you're seeing the internal mechanisms going on within you, and rather than them happening without your conscious awareness and kind of causing you to act in ways that maybe don't align with what your intentions are, you're now seeing them for what they are, and you're not afraid of them. And it creates this really empowering feeling. I just combined empowering and powerful there. An empowering, powerful feeling that that you can look fear in the face and feel it, and it's not going to stop you. I really do feel like, as well, with this passion here, I feel like you're getting your zest back. Your future self for sure is like really connecting with the people that matter the most. And once again, like, the quality time that you have like with yourself is primo. Like, you are being nourished both by your connections around you and nourished by the connection you have to yourself. So I really love to see this, and I think that as a result, like, things in your life are flowing really well, and you have a level of confidence I think that you either haven't had in a while or have never accessed before, because like just the things that scare you can't stop you in the way that maybe they did in the past. So let's go ahead and see what this future version of you wants you to know. And one thing I do want to say as well is if you're like, I can't even imagine myself like being in that place, well, maybe you should start, because you were attracted to this reading and it was meant for you. And also, like, I think like most people on the planet would say like an earlier version of themselves couldn't imagine being where they're at, and then like it happens. And I think that's one of the fun things. Like, you know, what's that phrase? Like, we make plans and God laughs. I definitely see that a little bit here, but it's like, but also like there's some God consciousness happening here with you, where you're realizing like you're like there's a shift from, and I don't know if you believe this subconsciously, because I feel like it's not a conscious belief in you, and this is a present thing, where I feel like you've been kind of moving under this idea of like the universe decides what's best for you and then you follow and listen. And I think that you've also kind of like played with the idea of, but I can create my reality, I can do this, like I can have a say in what I want. But I think that your conscious mind has the understanding that you have more input than you realize, but your subconscious hasn't quite caught up yet. And so I think that it might be creating like a frustration towards yourself, because it's like, well, I know these things, why can't I be them? And so yeah, I feel like one thing you may be processing during this time until you step into this future aspect of self is like integrating the understanding that you have more, like integrating the understanding that you get to have more of a say in your life than you realize, and that the universe is not just dictating what you're supposed to be doing. And I think maybe there's a part of you that wished it did, which like mood, the same. But then again, at the same time, like, what if the universe was like, do nothing and be mediocre? Like, I don't know. I like sometimes, depending on the mood, I'd probably be like, okay, like that sounds easy, but that's not you. And I think that you might be really beating yourself up, feeling like you can't trust yourself to move forward, and like really struggling to have confidence in where you're headed. And I feel like your future self has understood that, you know, you're not in a car that's driving itself. Like, the car's not going to move until you get into the driver's seat. And that's why it's important to be confident in your driving skills. You know, metaphorically speaking, but literal as well. I mean, you know, learning, it's important. Okay. So, group number 2, by the way, if you're enjoying this, thank you for leaving me a like. Group number 2's future self. What would you like group number 2 to know in this moment right now for their highest good? Okay, we have Ace of Swords in reverse. What else? We have the King of Swords in reverse. We have the Hierophant upright. We have the Five of Wands in reverse. And one more, we have Strength in reverse. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Devil. So, whew, yeah, I can definitely see why you might be feeling like you lack confidence in yourself, or like I feel like there's just this vibe of like you're too tired to fight. And I feel like your future self is like, that's kind of the point. You need to stop fighting, actually. Stop fighting yourself and pay attention to what's really going on here. Because the fact that we have the Ace of Swords in reverse and the King of Swords in reverse, that really tells me that, like, I feel like you are placing way too much pressure on yourself to have it all figured out. And I also feel like you also have the assumption that you should have it figured out, which, like, have you ever met an adult human being? They tend to not have it all figured out. So, you're in good company with like the rest of humanity when it comes to that. But I could see how like your mind might be working against you, because you may just, I feel like you're leaning on a part of yourself that can't really help you right now. Like, I'm hearing mental fatigue. And I would even ask you, when's the last time you sat in silence? Because you might be at a point where you can't even like integrate imagination or possibility because your brain is so absolutely tired and you've been like running circles in your mind about like, I just want to get out of this place. I want to get out of this state. And I feel like your future self is saying like, please stop beating yourself up, one, but two, stop trying to control the situation here. I'm sorry, I just heard Jersey Shore in my head, like, all right, we got a situation. Do I need to censor this? I mean, there technically isn't a nipple, but okay. With the Five of Wands in reverse as well, you have nothing to prove to anyone and you have no reason to fight yourself. Like, there's definitely a clear, like, please stop beating yourself up. Like, you are in a phase of life right now, and it is not productive to beat yourself up for being in a dysfunctional state. And I would also say that what you perceive as a dysfunctional state is actually far less dysfunctional than you realize. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you really give me like the energy of someone of like the kids I went to school with that would be like, oh my god, I'm gonna fail this test, and like their idea of failing is getting like a 92, like getting an A-. It's just like, all right, okay. But I get it, you know, it is genuinely distressing. The 92 is distressing, but what's even more distressing is the idea that like you're still doing great, you're still showing up, you're still doing what you need to do. It's just not enough for you right now. And what I mean by not enough, like I do feel like it's not enough in terms of fulfilling, but I feel like you even put it on yourself to like, I need to earn fulfillment in a way where it's like I prove that I'm worthy of fulfillment in order to get it. And I just don't think that's the vibe. And I feel like your future self is saying like you've always been enough. You know, I was thinking in the bathtub earlier actually, like it's so funny, like the way that we will just all be like, it's so funny to think any of us are not enough because like we have all the things necessary to be a living person. Like if we were not enough, we would not be living, like period. Like I was thinking about like how silly a lot of like stuff when it comes to like skincare is, like how extreme it can be. And I'm like to think that your face isn't enough, like if you've got skin on it, that's what it needs. That's what you're supposed to have. If you got skin on your face, you're enough. So I don't know if that will help any of you, but it kind of helped me. Because I was just like, yeah, I'm enough. Like, if I weren't enough, I wouldn't be alive. I wouldn't be here. And I feel like with this Hierophant here, your future self is really saying, stick to what you know works and let go of trying to figure out the rest in terms of expansion right now, because it's clear you are exhausted. And I don't think that forward momentum right now should be your goal, because I feel like your future self is in a place where things are moving forward because they have slowed down. And I think that there is a message of slowing down, but also another message that you're not being abandoned, you're not being punished for where you are, your guides are not disappointed in you, the universe isn't frustrated with you. That's all you projecting that onto yourself if you think any of those things. And if you don't, that's great, because I would prefer you just not think those things at all. But with this Five of Wands in reverse here, I feel like a lot of the tension and friction that you feel around, like in your, like within yourself and around and in your surroundings in life right now, I feel like you're bringing it all on yourself as like a failure. And like, I see a lot of burnout here. And when you're burnt out, it's really hard to feel like you'll ever get your fire back. But your future self is saying burnout is a call to attention and a call for you to be with your body. Like, I think that there's a really big message here of, if you are tired, stop fighting. Stop feeling like your life should be fighting. That's not what your life is meant to be. And I think as well, I feel like you just don't trust yourself to move forward or to be able to figure it out. And your future self is like, you just need some rest. Like, you'll be fine. Like, it's really one of those things where, like, you know, where you've been so exhausted, and like just the smallest things set you off or overwhelm you, and you're like, I don't know, like life feels like it's gonna fall apart, but like realistically, like, you just needed a nap and a shower and like a good meal. On a bigger level, this is what you're going through. Like, I know, like I think that your level of burnout and like where you're at, I think it's gonna need a little bit more than just like a night of self-care. I do think that there is a encouragement from your future self to start like reorienting your life to be more nourishing and nurturing to your body, because you've gotten to the point where your body might be screaming at you in certain ways, like, and you will know immediately what is working for your body and what it needs, because you will feel relief, if not immediately, quite soon after. Things I would really recommend, just based on what I'm seeing, movement I think could be huge for you. Like, especially if you are the type of person that gets really stuck in their head, because like mood, like I can deal with that, like where I just forget my body exists until I'm like super thirsty or super exhausted, or like have pushed my body to such a brink that like I have no choice but to remember it's there, because it can't sustain whatever nonsense is going on in Braintown. And listen, Braintown's a fun place to be, I get it, but like I feel like you are reaching the point where Braintown is even not fun anymore. Your brain needs a break. Your mind needs a break. Your nervous system needs a break. And I feel like with this Hierophant here, if you do have any like opportunities for like maybe counseling or support, that might really help you. But if it's not feasible financially, or if it's something that like you don't need to go outside of yourself if you don't want to like seek more guidance and growth. But I think that there is this message from your future self to go back to basics. And if you are going to integrate anything new into your world, it should be supporting what you need right now, and not about building towards a future, because a future really can't happen right now because the present doesn't have anywhere to land. But with the Five of Wands in reverse and Strength in reverse, I feel like this time is really good for you. Like your future self is really saying, like, you know, it's kind of good that you're tired of fighting and tired of pushing and tired of like, you know, pretending like everything's okay and is just gonna move forward, because like that has been harming you in the long run, more than just being honest with yourself would be. And I feel like with this Hierophant card here as well, there's a lot of unseen support around you. And I think what you'll find, if you haven't noticed this already, which I bet for a lot of you, you would, big things that you've been afraid of happening, you've been protected from. And even if you weren't able to show up in ways that would have prevented like something you were afraid of happening, it seems like the universe has still protected you anyway. And so there's definitely a huge message here to trust in what you can't see, and trust in what you know isn't working. Because if you don't know what will work, the only answers you're going to get right now are from what you know isn't working. And one of the things that I do think is there's maybe too much noise. So it would be really great for you to practice being in silence. And if you can't be in silence, then do noises that are like natural, or like if you're going to listen to music, make it classical. If you can go even further, maybe start listening to subliminals. Like, I swear subliminals work. Like, subliminals are one of the best things ever, because you literally just don't have to do anything but like sleep or listen to them in the background, and they create powerful change. And since we've already been talking about the subconscious mind anyway, I feel like that's what subliminals are designed to do. I'm so thirsty. Are you drinking enough water? Are you getting enough electrolytes? You may not be. It's like, I'm so thirsty in this reading. So I think a lot of what you may be feeling is like detrimental, and you'll never get it figured out. Realistically, like, you will be able to like zoom out once your needs have been taken care of a little bit more, and you remember who you are, and remember what you feel like when you're hydrated, moisturized, and unbothered. That's all gonna happen. But I think your future self is really saying, stop trying to figure it out. Stop trying to fight. Stop trying to be a version of yourself that you think you need to be, and just be honest with yourself, with where you're at, and start there, because that's really what's going to help you move forward. Because you can't move forward in a car that's broken down. Like, it needs oil, it needs whatever other stuff it needs. I come from a car family, so I feel like it's kind of a, oh, my family would be ashamed of me. No, they wouldn't, they don't care, but yeah, I feel like I should know. See, I'm doing it right now. I'm like, I should know things about cars. Why? I don't need to. I've got car experts in my life I can lean on, and I'm grateful for that. Pay attention to the experts in your life, to people who know more than you do about things that you need help with, because they will be happy to help you with those things, I promise. And I think your future self might even be saying, like, those could be people that help create more balance in your life, especially with the friendship and gratitude thing. And when you get in those places where you're so overwhelmed, you just can't think, speak, breathe normally or anything like that, really just what in this moment can you be grateful for? Like, is it the blanket that's on you? Is it, you know, the ability to text a buddy? Is it, you know, the wonderful animal creature in front of you? Is it the beautiful blue sky? Like, whatever it is, even if it's the most basic thing, it's better than ruminating. So even that could be like a little bit of medicine to the soul for you. So let's go ahead and see what else your future self wants you to know. So what guidance does group 2's future self? Ooh, okay. Caution, tread softly as not to disturb the woodland floor. So I do feel like there is a message of caution here around, like, this place where your future self is meant to be. It will take longer to get there the more you ignore your needs for rest and nourishment. Not only that, though, I do think there's a message here as well about what voices you allow to influence you. And there might be voices that, like, maybe you agree with like half of what they say and half of not. Just be careful. Trust your own judgment first and foremost, and err on the side of hope and positivity, not cynicism. I don't think placing your faith in cynicism will bring you anywhere but further burnout. And I do think there's a message here as well of, like, if you think you're frustrated with like needing to meet your body's needs now, imagine how frustrated you'll be in the future when you've continued to ignore them and the situation's even worse. So I feel like there's opportunity for you to get what you need sooner by just surrendering the need to pretend like you're okay. What else? What else? What else? What else? Yes, we have dance. Allow yourself to have some fun each day, just as the sun dances with the moon each night. Yeah, I think that could be really great for you. Like, I know I said less noise, but like if it's noise mixed with movement, that's okay. I mean more like if you've got something going on in the background all the time because you can't relax otherwise, like that's something to pay attention to. Like, human beings, we did not have constant noise all the time. Like, we did not have constant soundtracks and, you know, videos and stuff like that playing all the time. It's fun. I'm not gonna lie, it's fun. But I think movement is definitely gonna be good for you when you're feeling really stuck. Anything else? Friends, yes. The most unlikely friendships can form like variegated lichens on a hard rock. They create a tight bond. So yeah, I feel like if you're like, well, I don't have any friends that I can lean on right now. Well, first of all, you're leaning on one right now, right here. Did I not start this video with hi friends? Second, if there are any like spiritual communities or like religious communities that are like safe and not really toxic that that you feel connected to, that could be a great way to make friends. If you really like, when it comes to expansion in your world, the only type, like I said, the only type of expansion you should be doing is related to what is beneficial to you, not what is beneficial to your wallet, not what is beneficial to Like if it does not benefit your body, your state of being, or a state of nourishment, it might not be the time to add to your to-do list. But if you have things that you've been wanting to do, like for yourself, that you've been putting off, like I think now's the time. I think like your future self is saying that your present self really needs more attention from you and needs more care from you. And I don't mean self-care in like a surface level way. I mean like a real like, damn, what do I need, and how have I been neglecting myself, and how have I been ignoring myself? Because there's a lot of like powerful wisdom for you to access within that awareness if you tune into it. And your future self has tuned into it, and your future self has used it in ways that have benefited you greatly. So the sooner you start doing that, the sooner you're gonna really be like, oh yeah, I'm okay, everything's okay. Because truthfully, everything is okay. The only reason you're not okay right now is because you're meant to be okay. And if you're not okay, you can't be okay until you're okay. Okay? Okay. Group number 2's future self. What final guidance do you have for group number 2 when it comes to their present and stepping into this future version of themselves? Yes, bitch, renewal. Like that. That is the mood. That is the mode. Okay. Giving something a try is not making a lifelong obligation. You can switch and swap and refine your interests, friends, lovers, careers, plans, and homes as often as you like. If something doesn't fit, try something new. And if that doesn't work out, try something else. What you could be looking for, what you are looking for could be around the corner, or could be around the next corner. Oh, didn't I say that for a lot of you, your future is just around the... Okay, I love that. There is no failure in moving on or starting over. Listen, your heart is calling. Shut up. I told y'all. Thirsty heart, okay, cannot be quenched by logic. It must drink from the well of life and be replenished. Each time it breaks, it comes to hold more, but its essence does not change. Your heart holds truth in every breath. What does it say? Listen, and you shall be reborn. Billowing blankets of snow, fleecy eider-down clouds, unblemished sheets of ice like freshly laundered linen for land. This is such a tongue twister. Sky and sea, creamy wisps of white flow and swirl across the heavens and cover the earth's extremities. Unbroken white stretches out like a fresh canvas as nature pauses to consider where to make the first brush stroke. A winter dawn, iced white like a page not yet written, a love not yet tasted, a day not yet lived. Footprints in the snow, shapes in the clouds, tracks in the ice disappear like they never were. Life makes its mark with no obligation, no expectation, and its masterpiece is not lost beneath the next snowfall. White, where time is frozen, like an expectant hiatus lost to a blank page. Refreshing perpetual renewal is here and now and always waiting for you. So yeah, your future self is really saying the key to being where you want to be is being present with what you need in order to access renewal. And if you don't know what that is, you like it's going to be a matter of figuring it out. But like I said, pay attention to what you know doesn't work, because that's the best place to start with what you do know, not what you don't know. That'll make it less overwhelming, and also it will help you start to cut out the things you know don't work. So group number 2, that's where I'm going to leave your reading. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background if you don't have YouTube Premium, or leaving me a tip if you have ad blocker or something like that, because it's just really helpful, and I just really appreciate your support, especially because I'm a human person. I'm not AI. I'm just one guy. So thanks for all your love and support. I really hope that this reading resonated for y'all. Ways to support me, I feel like y'all know, but they'll be linked in the description. I love you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this, and I can't wait for you to slay soon. I love you guys, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the third Hello Kitty with the flowers, the yellow flowers, and the little watering can, and this third stack of oracle cards. This is going to be a reading on messages from your future self. So let's go ahead and see where your future self is. So we have Spade, we have Ten of Wands, we have Pink Rose, grace and sweetness. The pursuit of perfection then is the pursuit of sweetness and light. We have Community. And we have Spirit with Source. Okay, this is beautiful. I really love to see this. If you are feeling lonely or feeling just like lost, know that your future self is in a place where they have been found. Like, I'm actually hearing Amazing Grace in my head. And I really want to pay attention to this Ten of Wands and this Community card, because this is why I love using tons of different decks, is like the way that the artwork can sometimes just come together and tell such a beautiful story. And coming together, also that Beatles song, Come Together, I definitely see your future self being in a place where they have found belonging and deeply meaningful community that is not only helping you feel safe, but it's also nourishing growth. You know, this Ten of Wands is really interesting because, you know, the Ten of Wands in like the traditional Rider Waite talks a lot about being burdened, carrying too much. It's like literally a man bent over with like 10 wands struggling to walk. And what I really see here is that your future self has found community that makes the burdens of life that you have to carry less heavy, but I also see big protection energy here. And I feel like with this Ten of Wands energy, it's not necessarily like not only are you not carrying whatever burdens you have on your own, but there's also collective intention in the community around you to protect you from burdens that could stop your growth and stop you from shining and living. Like, oh my gosh, I want to cry. Like, there's this deeply spiritual, loving community around you that wants to see you thrive and wants to protect you. And I see you being the same way. Like, the way that people are coming around you to like protect you and those in your care and help you grow, I see you doing the same for them as well in whatever capacity you have. And one thing that I do see here is that where your future self is at, you may not have the capacity quite yet to give as much as you receive, but I think that's really the important point, is you're meant to receive from community, and this is where your future self is at. And I do feel like I really want to say God, but like I don't necessarily mean like source, spirit, the universe, whatever you believe in. Like, even if you don't believe in a higher power, like whatever connects you to just the greatest sense of oneness, being, and belongingness, and just the greatest sense of like wholeness and love you could fathom, that is the energy that is bringing you to these people, or allowing you, even if, or if you know who, like what this community is, like if you've like, you may or may not know what this community is or what it looks like. And for some of you, I'm hearing you might actually move, and that will be what like the catalyst for finding this community. But for others, and honestly, movement doesn't have to mean moving houses or moving countries. It could just be moving off the couch and into like the public. Whatever it is though, it's community that's bonded by deep purpose, by greater ideals that all of you live by and believe in. And there's a level of support and understanding that makes you understand how precious you are, and how precious your growth is, how precious your evolution is, and how precious your belongingness within that community is. I see you forging deep friendships with a lot of these people, and I see you truly changing as an individual in the best of ways. And I think that in the ways that you are changing, it's not like, I mean, sure, we're all flawed, but like, I don't see you in this place of like, you need to make changes, like this shit's all fucked up. Like, I don't see that with you. What I see with you though is changing how, I feel like if, whether you're at this place or not, I don't know, but like one of the changes that I see is that you, before this community, and maybe this is your present or something you're working through right now, I feel like you might identify as more of someone who like doesn't let people in, or someone who likes to go their own way, or someone who likes to rely and depend on themselves. And for some of you as well, I feel like, you know, maybe you're navigating some kind of vulnerable situations where you haven't been forthcoming with the people that care about you, like what you're going through. Or maybe you've just been in a place where you've been isolated and alone and felt like maybe, you know, you don't deserve community, or you don't have enough to give. So like, why would anyone give to you? And I feel like your future self is coming through to say that's not true. And I actually want to read what this Spade card says. This is from the Faceted Garden Oracle, by the way. I haven't been putting the decks in the description anymore because it was like a genuinely taxing thing for me. That would cause me to take longer to post the videos. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's actually the truth. And so it's been a self-care thing and nobody's complained about it. So I'm gonna keep going with that because it's really helped me. But if I see a comment asking what a deck is, I'm happy to tell you guys. If not, reverse image search, or you never know, like, I'll do my best. But I just got distracted. Spade. We're looking for Spade. I'm planting, tending, and harvesting that which nurtures you. Utilizing the tools that will make your vision attainable. Digging in. May indicate a helpful ally. So yeah, like that you are in a place where you are getting to evolve and grow in ways where life can't interrupt it in ways that set you back severely, because you have the protection of community, helpful allies, and more positivity in general around you. Like this grace and sweetness, I feel like, number one, this community that you're involved in, they do not judge you. In fact, I would be willing to bet that whatever community this is, it's full of a lot of people with either similar backgrounds, or similar, if not similar backgrounds, then like similar life experiences that brought you all together and that formed this community to begin with. And you might even feel like a little bit intimidated entering this community, because you might feel like wow, like these people are amazing, and I think like what these people around you are really going to show you is that yeah, you're amazing too. Like that's why you're here, and they're going to help you dig in and go deeper in ways where your progress can't be sabotaged by those that don't want to see you thrive. You know, and I see this as well as you being planted in the right soil, you know, because if something's not in the right soil, it can't grow. And all the plants on my table are like jittering, partially because I'm moving and, you know, physics, but I feel like even the plants like on my table are just like happy for you. Lost my train of thought there. But I definitely think that you're savoring life more, this future version of yourself, and life is just sweeter. Like you savor the small moments so much because you realize how powerful it is, like to be in the present with someone that like you feel safe with, and that you guys can just share and be connected and enjoy a moment together in you know, in the journey of life. Like I really just see you learning what it means to be part of a community, and learning that you don't have to do things alone, and that you don't have to be tough for everyone else, be strong for everyone else. Not only that, I see you realizing that you don't even have to be what you think you need to be. Like I see so much grace around you for like I could see you getting stressed over small things. Like let's say there's a community gathering and you wanted to make something special for it and you didn't have the time, and so all you can bring are like napkins and silverware, and you might just feel really embarrassed and ashamed, and like everybody's gonna be like, well, we need napkins and silverware, like, thank you so much. Like, I feel like you may not realize, like, everybody has a role to play, and whatever capacity you have to give is enough, especially in this community. And I think one thing as well is that you'll realize, like, this is a community that respects nuance. And I don't know if there's like one leader. I feel like it's very egalitarian. And I feel like whatever this community is, it is led by higher ideals that not only you will resonate with, but they resonate with as well. And they live by those ideals. They're not, you know, and ever intentionally being hypocritical. I feel like this is a type of community that's going to give you life, and the type of community that's going to remind you like why life is worth it. Like, this makes me really like want to cry, because it's really beautiful. I think it's what every human being deserves to experience. And let me know what that ends up being, because I would love to find community like that. I mean, I have that community right here. It's like, I love you guys. But you know, there's the value of, I feel like this is more so in-person community than it is like online community. If it is online community, I feel like it's the type of online community that's like a hybrid. So you can, like, you meet in person, you do things in person. And I feel like this is a community dedicated to the growth and well-being of its members, and you are one of them. And I think that there's going to be just something very empowering, like your future self is coming through to say, like, this is the community that's going to nurture your self-worth and help restore self-esteem, because you'll realize where the standards for yourself were impossible in terms of achievement, in terms of like being functional. I think you're gonna realize like the ways in which you judged yourself for standards that like don't exist, that are just inhuman and impossible. And I think that I just heard like Pam Beasley from The Office in my head going, I feel God in this Chili's tonight. And I really do feel like you're gonna feel God, or whatever your idea of that is, or just a deep sense of wholeness and connection. That's really all it needs to be in this space. And I think that there's like the way that people are just going to be so kind to you and so understanding. I think it might give you whiplash, because, you know, maybe your ideas of community have been that, you know, maybe you're the odd one out, or maybe you're expected to give a lot, but you don't really get a lot in return, or maybe you feel like you have to perform or be a version of yourself that you're not, and your future self is saying, there's none of that here. If anything, there's a hell of a lot of inspiration for you to be even more of what you see around you. And I think that this is not only a community that will help give you the tools to thrive, but they will sit with you as you do that. And I think that this is a community that will celebrate you and celebrate your growth and your wins. And also, you know, they'll laugh with you and they'll cry with you. Like they really like it, they come from a place of they've been there and they know that. And I think that there might be, I feel like your future self is at a place where they have started to understand this belonging. And I think that but the experience is still new and fresh. So like your future self is at a place where their eyes are being opened and they're seeing the light, and they're seeing like, wow, okay, I can actually dig my roots here. Like I can actually, like, you know, set roots here. I can grow. I can be, you're a fish in the right body of water instead of, you know, stuck in a community expecting you to climb a tree. You know that I butchered the phrase there to make it fit the context of the reading, but also that song, This Little Light of Mine, like, I just feel like this community is going to help you see your own light. And I think it's also going to inspire you to face parts of yourself that you didn't feel safe facing in the past, because you know that they're not things to be ashamed of anymore. And I see in general your future self releasing a lot of the past, releasing a lot of ideas about belongingness and acceptance. And these ideas that you're releasing are harmful ideas. And it really, and I think what's interesting is like there are ideas that I think that you can consciously understand that like humans need community, humans deserve like spaces where they feel welcome and safe, except for you, which like I guess a lot of human beings do that, but that fallacy is going out the window, and thank God for that. But I feel like your future self is in a place where, sure, the challenges of life have not necessarily stopped, but you're not carrying them alone anymore. And in fact, because of the challenges that you have individually, the community that surrounds you is going to be extra protective of you and of your needs and your nourishment as you heal and begin to thrive. And I don't know if you necessarily need healing. That could, like, I feel like that word may not be applicable to everybody. But I guess in the same, at the same time, you know, maybe it's healing you don't realize you need. It's like, it's healing you didn't necessarily ask for, but in receiving it, you're like, wow, this is awesome. It's like scratching an itch you didn't know you had in a way that is just like, I don't know, like scratching an itch I think is maybe too surface level. It doesn't indicate this. It's like, I mean, like Amazing Grace, like I was once lost and now I'm found. I was blind but now I see. And I think what's really beautiful here is not only are you going to get to be seen by individuals worthy of perceiving you. That sounds a little bit like hoity-toity, but I feel like you've been perceived by a lot of wounded individuals that can admit that their shit stinks too. And I think that this is a community that's not like, oh, everything's great, like sunshines and rainbows. It's sunshines and rainbows because it's weathered storms and because it hunkers through the night. Like it's a community that doesn't deny the challenge. I think it's a community that finds light through challenges and through hardship and through, you know, the deeply personal human struggles that we face. And this is a community that is not saying, oh, we're perfect or we're holier than thou. This is a community that's saying, I know what it is like to have suffered. I know what it is like to have been alone. I know what it is like to have done XYZ, experienced XYZ. Let us walk this with you because this is our mission and this is what we care about and we care about you. And the thing that might kind of bewilder you, I feel like for some of you, is you might be like, wait, like, they don't even know me though. Like, they don't know, like, you might feel like, what did I do to deserve this? And it's like, it's not about doing, it's about being. Like, you're a human being. And especially when it comes to, you know, when you can relate to someone's struggles and when you can and especially those that are in a place where you've already been and you have, you know, traversed some of those challenges, like, I think it's almost innate that you're going to want to support someone else through that process, because not only do you have the experience, but also you have the personal attachment to, like, oh my God, fellow human, that is where I was. And what a gift it is. Oh, fuck, this is gonna make me cry. What a gift it is to be able to give someone something you didn't have. And I'm thinking about, like, 4 years ago, I was in the bathtub and I was thinking, like, I'm able to give people something that I didn't have, like this. And it made me so emotional and so grateful because, like, you know, if you are a teenager, you should not be here. But I was once a teenager on YouTube in spaces I shouldn't have been in. And they were far toxic and far worse than that. If you are a teenager, though, I just ask you watch readings like this and not like love readings and stuff. I don't think that's what you need. But you know what? If you are a teenager, you're gonna do what you're gonna do anyway. So, well, all I can do is do my best to give you guidance, but you're gonna do whatever you want anyway. That being said, I don't want to know. unless you're 18 or 19, I don't want to know. But that being said, it was just one of those deeply humbling moments where it made me so grateful to be able to do what I do, because being able to give someone something that I didn't have, is just the most special thing ever. And so that feeling that I'm expressing right now, like, I feel like the people around you are definitely going to want to give that to you. I'm not sorry for crying. It's very beautiful. Like, these are happy tears. These are tears of like, this is what makes life worth it. And this is what, like, it is the most special thing to make life better than what you had. And it is such a special thing to make the path easier for those that follow you. And so know that you are giving them a gift by letting them help you, by letting them in. And there's something very special about that. And I feel like you need to know that if you feel guilt or shame as you step into this community and as you receive support, understand that that's the last thing they ever want you to feel, because it's a blessing and an honor to be there for you and to support you. And you're in this community not because they want to extract something from you or because they want to feel good about themselves. They're in this community because you are them and they are you, just in different places in time and space. And there's nothing that they want more than to see you overcome and accomplish and become who you're meant to be in an environment that supports you, because nobody wants to see you withered. The only people that want to see you withered are other withered people. And may they find connection and community too. But if not, that's not your problem and that's not your business. So let's go deeper and see what let's see what your future self wants you to know. And while I'm shuffling, if you do enjoy this, thank you for leaving me a like. That is really what I do hate about like the social media ecosystem, is like, I'm having this deep personal moment with you and I'm like, hey guys, like, can you like and subscribe? It would just really mean a lot to me. But it would, because like, if I just want to put this out there, like, real creators are having to contend with like tons of AI crap and like other stuff, you know, and obviously that's in a lot of areas of life, you know, not just like creators and stuff, but, you know, pushing creators that, you know, are real people and you know, are not just like content farms, like, it's just really helpful and really powerful. So thank you. You know, these are kind of cursed platforms, but we can bring blessings to them, and I'm grateful to be part of that, and I'm grateful for you guys like supporting me and doing that, and I'm grateful that you're here. So thank you. And thank you for any support. Just letting you know, if you do, like, if you don't have YouTube Premium, like, letting the ads play for the first 30 seconds is really helpful. After that, like, you can skip. Honestly, anytime you let the ads play is really helpful, but I would highly recommend you like turn the sound off and ignore it, because what's more powerful than wasting someone's ad revenue and giving it to me? I don't think there's anything better, actually. Okay, but I want to do one more, actually. Group number 3's future self. What messages do you have for group number 3 in the present that they need to hear? Oh, there's a booby. Okay. So we have the World. I feel like that's too small. We will use the Dungeons and Dice. Dungeons and Dragons dice. That will work. Okay. What else? What else do you want what else does group 3's future self want their present self to know? We have the Lovers in reverse. We have a Wheel of Fortune in reverse. What else, please? We have the Moon upright. And one more. We have the Hanged Man upright. Wow, okay. So I want to just say, like, straight out, like, it's quite significant that you have all major arcana cards out here. Not that minor arcana and court cards are less important, but these are heavier energies. These are kind of like, minor arcana are like lowercase letters, major arcana are uppercase. They're bigger archetypes and bigger life things. I do feel like for some of you, you could be in a situation that is really challenging, where maybe you don't have a choice to be in it right now, or you're just really down on your luck, or you're just in a place right now where things are really hard. Maybe you feel disconnected from the divine. I also like can't ignore that I do feel like for some of you, you might be in a really toxic situation with a romantic partner, or a someone who you love that says loves you but doesn't make you feel loved. If there's any like abuse in the situation, please get help. I'm not equipped to help you with those things, just straight up, and I'm not gonna sit here and tell you what to do or how to do it. I don't know your life, and like even just the statistics on leaving those situations, like it takes time, it takes support. And I'm not gonna lie, I did feel like when I was, you know, feeling the energy of your future self, it does seem like, you know, maybe the community that you end up being in, a lot of people will be able to relate to the current situation that you're in. Your future self wants you to know it's going to end. And let me be clear. There's a difference between being in a relationship where the both of you grow together and work through challenges. You know, maybe there's toxicity between the two of you that you can grow through and grow like and change together, and and you evolve together. That's not the kind of situation I'm talking about. The kind of situation I'm talking about is where like you're in a situation with someone where you are investing everything, and you're getting nothing in return. Like it's not really a relationship, it's just you trying to make something work. But honestly, it doesn't have to be a relationship. I feel like whatever situation that you are in right now, I feel like it's one where you feel really stuck. And I actually think like your future self might be saying like maybe you are kind of stuck right now, but you're not going to be stuck forever. And there are solutions and there are tools coming your way. But also don't be like, if you are miserable right now and miserable with where you're at, and you're afraid of walking away from where you are because of fear of what if it gets worse, that is definitely fear talking. And just based on like the powerful energy that I felt in your future self, I promise you, like whatever situation you're in right now, you don't have to continue choosing it. You know, one thing that the lovers just talk about it is a choice. And, you know, I think that like it's kind of complex to talk about where is the line drawn between like, yes, we have choices and victim blaming. You know, never want to victim blame. And I'm not saying that you're in a situation that you're a victim in. Maybe you're a victim of your own choices, but haven't we all been that? I mean, I'm the poster child for that. Well, not all my choices. A lot of my choices are very good, but some of my choices aren't that great. Like for example, just not creating as much as I want to because I overthink it. You know, the thing like not wanting to do the description of a video and waiting 2 days to post it because I just don't want to go and do like crazy work on my part. But it's a silly example, but the point of what I feel like your future self is saying, like, do not erase the reality of where you're at right now. Like, part of your misfortune right now might be due to choices you made in the past. but that is not a reason to self-flagellate or beat yourself up or feel like you deserve whatever is in your present. Because I also want to be clear that if the choice that you made was related to a relationship, it's quite possible that when you made the choices in this relationship, at least to be more serious with it or to pursue it further, the person that you were choosing could have been completely different, or wearing a mask, or playing a performance. If you are truly in like a situation that's dangerous, like please look up resources and support like for your area. Like that is the most important thing. Like your safety is the most important thing. Like and just straight up, there is no situation where it is justified for you to stay in an abusive place or with an abusive person, especially and also like if there are children involved. Like even if you think, like, I promise you're not protecting them. Like, they know what's going on. Like, children know what's going on. They're quite astute. Unless, like, there is a threat to your life, like, and even that, like, I'm not the person to be giving this advice. I'm not, like, but obviously, like, when it comes to general readings, there's a lot of stuff out there. And there's a lot of different situations. And for those of you, like, you might feel like you deserve the situation you're in. And if it's actively causing you harm, nobody deserves that. But also this could be a lot less dramatic than it's not dramatic if it's someone's situation. It might feel dramatic me saying this if your situation's not that severe. I think actually in a lot of severe situations, people can be way too casual about them and not really understand the severity of what's happening, because it's normal. And if mistreatment in your current situation is normal, if feeling bad about yourself or being made fun of or being like harmed in any way, mentally, emotionally, physically, that's a big no. That's a big no. Nobody deserves to be in that environment. Nobody can grow in that environment. Nobody can thrive in that environment. Nobody deserves that environment. And that sort of thing is not your fault. And you need to understand that. And if you're waiting for this situation to change, I feel like this World card is letting you know that if holding out hope for change relies on an outside environment or outside person to change, you're going to be stuck in the same situation for a while longer. The only way you're going to see change here is if you are willing to make it. And I think it comes from surrendering to truths about the fact that maybe this is not what you signed up for. Maybe this is not what you thought it would be. And honestly, even if maybe you're in a relationship where things have been great, where, you know, there isn't necessarily anything like detrimental, or like maybe you guys just aren't compatible and maybe like you're just not happy. That's okay as well. Because when you stay in a situation you're not happy in, you might be stopping that person from getting what they need to, or you might be stopping someone that would, you know, maybe benefit from being in that environment from being there. You never know. But one thing I do know is that God, the universe, the beings of light that love you, and I'll say right here, as a human being, I don't need to know you to love you. I know you're a person. I know that you have dreams and hopes and a heart, and like that's enough. Like, you're a living, breathing person. You matter, and I love you. And there is nothing coming from a place of love that would ever say, stay in a situation where you are withering. Stay in a situation where you believe that the bare minimum is what you deserve. Stay in a situation where you are isolated or lonely. Nothing will ever tell you that. At least nothing that wants the best for you. You know, I could see people that benefit from that wanting you to stay, but that's about them, not you. And with this Moon card here, I feel like there's a message from your future self that you don't have to have it all figured out right now. I think that there is really more so just this request to stop filtering your perception of current events through the eyes of others and their experiences. And I'm really guilty. Like, I used to, like, not, what I'm trying to say is like, you might be invalidating harm or pain caused to you because you are looking at it through someone else's eyes. Well, like, well, there are other people that suffer more than me, or I'm just being ungrateful, or like, no, it's not being ungrateful to have self-respect and to, you know, expect that, you know, you as a person are respected and treated well and cared for and are appreciated in the environments and people you give your time and energy to. That should be the expectation. And I feel like there's a real message here with the Seven of Pentacles being on the back of the deck, that like life has been cultivating in a powerful way for some time now. To help get you where you need to be. And I think maybe one of the biggest challenges you may face is like, you know, maybe you are more comfortable in situations where you're not getting what you need, because maybe that's just what's normal. And that's what you know. Maybe it's more uncomfortable for you to be in situations where you don't have to bend over backwards to make people happy, or where you don't have to play a performance or be a certain version of yourself. But you're already planting and tending to the seeds that are leading you to this community and that are leading you to a much more positive place in life. I feel like with this World card here, there's a really huge message that whatever you feel like will never end is meant to. And I mean that in specifically in ways of like, I feel like, you know, just this constant like things not working out will never end. Or I feel like, you know, if you've been seeking connection with, you know, people that do lift you up, like let's say you're not in a relationship, maybe you're really lonely, and maybe you've been searching for like a person or a community, and it just seems like things aren't working out, like, you know, you're just not connecting to them, you're just not vibing to them, or, you know, like, or maybe like whatever it is, it just seems like it's not working. I feel like if that's the case, it's not your fault. I do feel like, though, whatever situation you're in, it's really calling you to look at things from a different perspective. And that perspective is your own. And one where, if you're going to look at your situation from any perspective, look at it through my eyes, okay? I want what's best for you. I want you to wake up every day, no matter how you're feeling, happy, sad, mad, bored, whatever it is. I want you to feel like it's valid. I want you to know that your dreams matter. I want you to know that your words matter. I want you to know that I want you to feel secure in your environment. I want you to feel loved and cherished by the people around you. I want you to feel like your life matters, what you have to share matters, and your inherent being matters. I want you to look in the mirror and be proud of who you are. And I want you to know that you're not a mistake, and that you're not meant to be like a footnote in someone else's life. Your life matters too. Your journey matters too. You're not meant to be a side character in the lives of others. Sure, maybe we are all that to a degree, but I feel like you've forgotten that you deserve to have your own story, and that you deserve to have goodness that doesn't come with conditions or expectations or self-sacrifice that is just unreasonable. You might feel like the place your future self is at is impossible to reach, but this World card tells me it's not. And in fact, it's inevitable that you will find it. And whatever is keeping you stuck here, whatever is tearing you down and making it hard for you to grow, it's gonna go. And honestly, you may not even be the one that has to do it. If you don't know how to get out of your situation, like if you don't know how to get out of where you are, all it really starts with is making the decision that you know you need to. And that choice can be a rippling effect in very powerful ways. You know, I'll say for myself, I remember I've struggled quite severely with like mental health stuff, you know, for a lot of my life, and like severe depression for at least a decade. And honestly, the only thing that I won't say like got me out of it permanently, because like I literally like I had to like take a few days to even finish this video because I was just going through my own funky season for a second there. And not even season, just funky weather. But it really wasn't until I decided that like I can't be here anymore. Like I literally cannot take it. I don't know what it's gonna take. I don't know what I need to do, but all I know is that I cannot sit here and accept where I'm at anymore. Like I need to change. I need to claw my way out of this hole, and I don't know how I'm gonna do it. But just that decision of like I need to start, and I need to try, that was enough to get those wheels turning. A couple months later, picked up my first tarot deck. A couple months later after that, started my YouTube. You see where I'm going with this? It's a momentum thing. And guess what? It didn't fix my mental health. It didn't fix anything magically. Because a lot of things like that are a process. You know, one thing that I've learned is that, you know, I may not like I built habits in that state for a long time. And I think those habits that I'm trying to change, you know, create conditions where I feel back in that place, you know, and that's learning, that's growth. And I think one big, powerful, important thing about this community that your future self is in is like, it seems like, you know, a lot of the things that you're carrying, a lot of the things that you're processing and working through, like they will still be with you in this future, but not in the same way. I don't think they're as heavy. I don't think they're as insurmountable. And I don't think they're as confusing. You have a lot more clarity in this future place. And I think that your future self is saying, surrender responsibility that was never yours, and surrender obligations that promote self-neglect and self-betrayal. There is no reality where it is acceptable or good for you to be martyring yourself for others. And I don't even think you see it as martyring. I think you see it as like, this is just what's expected of me. And it's not. Maybe by those who taught you that, or by the environment that taught you that, but that's not truth. Like, that's not love. And I really think your future self is saying, choose you every time, because you will never regret it. And choose people that choose you too, because that's what you deserve. And with this World card here, I think there's a big, powerful, important message of stop trying to change what you can't control, because it for whatever reason, it is fixed, at least for now, and it's not your job to fix it. But the World card also talks about celebration and a huge closing of cycles. It's the last card in the major arcana. And I feel like the universe is saying, celebrate the inevitability of your return to yourself and return to love. You know, maybe these people you haven't met yet, but I think for some of you, like, you might know some of them from, like, you might be soul fam. And I definitely think that you will be you'll be coming home to yourself in a way where it will be so clear to you eventually. That whatever your present is, it wasn't your fault. And just because you're at a really rough place right now, and I feel like for some of you, you might feel like you're at rock bottom. That wheel turns, and this is temporary. And it's okay to be afraid, and it's okay to not know what's next, and it's okay to, like, I would even encourage you maybe not to make extreme rash decisions, especially when it comes to like your safety or just like your finances or things like that. Like, I feel like you are undergoing a more gradual process in this that ensures your safety, and also just ensures that your transition into a new reality is as gentle and as gentle as possible. But I feel like there's another word, like gentle and safe as possible. Like, I feel like too much change too soon could be more harmful than helpful in certain ways. And so I guess like your future self is saying you don't have to have like everything figured out right now. I do think the only immediate thing that you do need to do is, if you are in a situation that is dangerous, like that does need to be priority one. But obviously, like, I understand that even just like sometimes in those situations it can be more dangerous for you to be looking in. So I don't have the tools and the answers for you, but I know that, like, first of all, Why Does He Do That by Lundy Barncroft, I know it's free online. It's a very powerful book that if any of you feel drawn to, you should. I'll actually, you know what, let me write it down even so that I can. But if you feel like, but you know, maybe your situation is like, you know, maybe it is caused by I made poor decisions, or I made decisions from a place of love that, you know, made life not so loving to me. Like, whatever it is though, you may not know how to get out of it or how to move forward, but the universe does. And the universe is with you, and you're not alone. And like, this is a big turning point in your life, and I feel like the universe wants you to know that it's with you on every step, and you are going to get to this place. And you may not know how, and you may not know when, but it's happening already. And that wheel's continuing to turn. And here's the book, by the way. Why Does He Do That? Lundy Barncroft. But it's happening. And the steps and tools and supports and guides that you need will be there for you when you need them. And it will actually be almost miraculous. I think you will be humbled by the level of devotion the universe has to helping you make life more than you could have dreamed it could have ever been. Like, I really do think you're on a powerful trajectory where wherever you're at now, you will never be again. And even if it's just like undesirable, it's not even extreme. You don't need to be where it's undesirable. Like, obviously in life there are undesirable conditions all the time. Like, it's undesirable to like clean and do chores and, you know, like, what do you mean I have to like focus on nutrition and like it's like, that's a lot of math and stuff, you know, that's undesirable. But like, it sure as hell feels great to nourish myself with things that taste good. So, you know, trade-offs. You know, the undesirables that you're meant to have in your life are undesirables that are minute, and whatever they are, they make life, they're just a part of sustaining a life that you actually enjoy living in, and that you actually feel like it belongs to you and it's yours. I think that you, like, I think also too, like, if any of what I'm talking about seems confronting or scary, I feel like one thing your future self is saying that you will be seeing things very different once you're out of these situations and once you're out of where you're at right now. And it's okay not to have it fully figured out or be confused or uncertain of yourself. You're not alone in this. There's already community behind you and surrounding you in the spirit realms, helping you and supporting you. Pay attention to signs you see. Also, the number 10 could be really significant. Hangman, like the game. Any of the songs I mentioned, Pink Roses, like lions, that was an eagle that I pointed to, eagles, lions, bulls, specific people or specific names, all of that can be very significant. Certain Bible quotes, I do know, like in the world, the four little thingies here represent the books of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So any of those quotes from the Bible, I mean, don't ask me, because yeah, I was raised in Christianity. I'm good. Like, peace and love, I'm good. You know, talk about communities that, not all Christian communities are like that. All my love to my Christian friends. There's millions of incredible Christians out there, but the Christians themselves know the type of Christians I'm talking about. But really the big message that your future self is saying is that everything's going to be okay. And if it seems impossible, if it seems insurmountable, know that it's not, and you're not alone, and you don't have to figure it all out yourself. In fact, the more you just open up to, like, the only thing you need to know is what you know you need to say no to. That will be the first step. And everything from there will unfold. You don't have to know exactly what needs to happen. It's all gonna happen in the perfect time, in the perfect way. You are not forgotten, and you are not unloved, and you are not meant to stay where you're at. You are meant to thrive and be loved and cherished and be held and supported and cared for the way that you do for others. And I promise you, you will get that. You will get that because you are that. It's just a matter of finding and understanding and a lot of other things. And what those things are going to be different to all of you. Our journeys and pathways are different. But what I do know is that where you're not meant to be is any place where you are not cherished. Life's too short to be there. Okay, group number 3 is future self. What guidance do you have for group 3? We have clearing, make room for growth. Yeah. So you could even start by just, what's weighing you down that you don't need anymore? That could be a great place to start. If you've cried with me in this reading, that's great. That's clearing. You're already following your own advice. Like, sometimes clearing is emotional. Pay attention to what's taking up too much bandwidth in your life, because that could be very much what is stopping you from growing as much as you deserve to. And let's be clear here as well. Like, I'm not saying, well, actually, I feel like I'm being pretty clear. Maybe clearing's confirmation. I don't need to over-explain myself. Maybe you feel like you have to over-explain yourself a lot. And I promise you, those that want to understand you, you will not have to work so hard to communicate with. That's a tough lesson that I had to learn, you know, because I over-explain a lot because I want to be understood and I want to make sure people understand what I'm saying. And it sucks when someone gets upset because, like, they missed what I was saying. But you know, it just takes growth and understanding and realizing, like, okay, like, I cannot understand things for people who are committed to misunderstanding me. Like, at some point, you just gotta let go that not every message you give is going to be received by all in the way that way you're hoping to give it. You just got to trust that it's received by the right people and the ones that need it, because that's what matters. Yeah, we have let go. Enjoy the pulsing light of the firefly, but don't hold on too tight. So fireflies, I think, could be a very significant sign for you. And I actually think you're going to have... Fireflies are important because, you know, they glow for like a second and then it disappears. And those, pay attention to those glows. Actually, the spirit card kind of looks like that. Pay attention to those moments where you feel that glow, or you feel the light, or a moment of awareness or a moment of clarity hit you, because that's going to be where the insight is, where the answers are, where the next steps are. Those moments of clarity, you're not gonna see them till they hit you. And once they hit you, it's going to be like, oh, okay, this is the next step. I'll tell you what, when I got my first tarot deck, it hit me. I was like, this is something that I can it hit me in the sense of like, this is something that I can be more of myself with. Honor those. You never know where they'll lead you. What else? What else? For group 3. Teach. Inspire others and let nature be your greatest teacher. And yeah, I really do feel like nature is wanting to teach you. So if you have any like places in nature near you, or maybe you need to do some research, definitely go and seek out environments that are quiet and calm, where you can just sit and observe. You might notice a lot. I also want to say though, you know, if there's anyone that inspires you that you want to learn from, you know, take the opportunity to take those classes. But also, I feel like your future self is saying as well, like, part of the reason why you're here is because you are meant to help others. Like, the experiences you are having now are part of your life's journey to supporting. Like, I feel like whatever you're learning right now, you're going to help others. Or maybe you feel guided to teach in a way that isn't related to what you're going through, but what you're going through right now is getting in the way of your ability to do that. Even that, I feel like your future self is saying, like, your story is already inspiring, and you will be so inspired as you move through it. Like, there's so much value in not giving up on yourself and not accepting less than what you deserve. And I feel like this time's going to be really powerful for you, because it's going to help. It's going to give you a lot of wisdom that I think you're going to be able to share with others. And, you know, in the same way that your future self is going to be receiving, you know, community and support, I feel like you're going to become the part of the community. Like, you're going to be part of the other side, where because your future self is where, like, they're more so new to the community, but like embracing it and feeling that beautiful feeling of being embraced and being a little bit of a newbie. But at some point, you're going to be established within this community, and you're going to be part of the ranks, helping other new people and supporting others. And you're going to be in the same position that I talked about, where it's a gift and an honor and a blessing to be there for those who are walking the path you already have. And yeah, it's going to be really special. This is a special reading. You're a special person. I mean, not that any reading isn't special. I feel like they all are, but I feel like ones where I cry, like, they're few and far between, but are really special when it happens. Okay, so group number 3's future self. What do you want to leave your present self with? What do you want your present self to know? We have core. Ooh, I'm hearing, I don't know why, but core, I heard like korewa. And I don't know what the rest of the Japanese man says in the beginning of that Missy Elliott song, but get your freak on. That song is playing. I'm gonna have to play that as soon as I get off, because I love that song. Who's that bitch? People you know? Who's that bitch? You? I don't care. I don't care who you are. That bitch is a positive gender neutral term of endearment in this house. Okay. I was like looking for the book. I couldn't find it. A choice reveals what lovers is choices. A choice reveals what is at the heart of an action or situation. The closer you get to the truth, the hotter the reaction. Offset external pressures by seeking inner calm. Wealth, relationships, joy, family, independence, status, control. Choose wisely. You have your heart to answer to. Shallow compliments or an aversion to meaningful dialogue is a red flag. The center of existence, the center of the universe, and the center of your being is everywhere. The center has no fixed address. Every blade of grass, every grain of sand, every starburst, every particle of you is the center. You are the rise and fall of a wave in the cosmic ocean, never to be repeated, unable to be grasped, yet infinite, eternal, and omnipresent. Yeah, that is who you are. Reaching the center of the earth would mean tunneling over 6,000 kilometers through, I don't know what that is in imperial, but whatever. Probably a lot. 6,000 kilometers through layers of soil, rock, molten metal, and solid iron, where the heat may be hotter than the surface of the sun. Any craft journeying to the Earth's core would need to withstand temperatures of over 5,000 degrees Celsius and bear the weight of approximately 3.6 million atmospheres. That's around 334,000 tons of pressure. At the center, the pressure equalizes and there's weightlessness. When the external pressure becomes too much, go within and seek the light at your center. Humanity has never come close to reaching our planet's core, but observing Earth's magnetic field, seismic activity, and gravitational pull gives scientists a sense what it's made of. They say you can never really know someone, but you can get a strong sense of what their heart is made of by observing their interactions with the world around them. And that's the thing too that I feel like I really want you guys to understand. And I've actually been processing this too, so like we can kiki about this for a second. Like, I've carried so much shame for things that are like just dumb. And like, I feel like a lot of people that carry a lot of shame are carrying the shame of the shameless. Cause like, I really, honestly, anytime like I'm just consuming media, not anytime, but a lot of times, you know, you just hear about stuff in the news. I'm like, why am I feeling ashamed for, like, how do you sleep at night? Like, I think that there's a lot of us, I feel like, are carrying the shame of the shameless, and I feel like you are one of them. And if your shame is like, I feel like I don't show up enough, or I feel like, you know, I could do more for people, or I feel like, you know, there are people, like, there are men in power right now that, like, literally believe that the human race is not worth saving. Sometimes I agree with them. But that's only in heated moments where I get frustrated, right? There are people right now that have more than they could ever fathom. And they spend all their time trying to get points on Twitter. Because that's really what they care about. Like, there are people in this world that are actively causing so much harm to the collective humanity. And well, I don't think they're fine, but I do think that they don't feel shame. I don't know if they feel anything. Maybe they do feel shame. I don't know. I can't assume their experiences. But I know there's a lot of people, normal ass people, that do really out of pocket stuff. And I feel like those are the ones that are like the most judgmental, right? And the ones that like want to make you feel bad. And like, it's just a projection. Stop carrying the shame of the shameless. Because I think like you might be carrying toxic shame, and like, because there is such thing as healthy shame, and I think it's those that deserve to feel healthy shame that feel none of it, and like others that experience way too much of it and are like experiencing toxic levels of it. And I feel like you are one of those people, and baby, you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go, because it's not yours. It's not yours. And actually, I think it would be really empowering for you to realize, like, if you just really look on paper, like, who you are and what you've done in life, you're going to realize you have nothing to be ashamed of. You have nothing to be ashamed of. And it will be really liberating. And you can even go and compare that to people that have made you feel ashamed and just what you know about them. I promise you're going to be like, no, wait a second. What is this? Like, this is like, you're gonna be like, oh my God, I can give myself a break. I love you, group 3. You guys, I can't wait for you guys to find this community. I know you're gonna get there, and just know that you are worthy of the love that you give, and you are worthy of all the goodness that life has to offer, and you deserve to be able to receive that. And so if you're in a place where you can't, I pray you find the places you can in the easy, most gentle way possible, and as quickly as possible, because life's too short not to enjoy that. So may that happen. May you reach your future self in the quickest time, in the quickest way. I'm rooting for you, and I love you. So that's where I'm going to leave this reading. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background for at least for the first 30 seconds. That's really helpful. Obviously mute, don't pay attention, but yeah, if you want to support me, like, links and stuff will be down below. I love you guys. I really hope this message resonated. I'm giving you all my love, and I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye!